Hey, welcome back. So we've made our layers, but we're ready to start making our sketches. Now, this stuff you know already, okay? So it should be fairly easy. So we're going to make a sketch on each one of our layers here. I'm going to start with a circle on the base. And because I worked oh, sorry, I've missed it. There we go. Because I worked from the center point, it's nice and easy to draw to that center point with circles. So I am going to do about that big for my base. And I'm going to say thank you very much. So that's the first sketch drawn. Let's go and have a look at it. Check it's in the right place. So it's on this bottom layer that I made down here. Now the next one is going to be this plain one. I'm going to draw another circle on that one. So I'm going to select that, make a new sketch. And let's go and have a look at it from the top. And again, I'm going to draw a circle from the center point out. Okay, makes it nice and easy for me. Okay, and again, let's go and check it's in the right place. Yes, it is. And then the last one, so I click yes to the sketch. And then the last sketch is going to go onto this top plane. So new sketch. And this time I'm going to have a go at drawing. Let's see what else we got in here. We got an ellipse, yeah. So I'm going to draw an ellipse. Okay, so a little bit different from what we've got previously. Something big enough to let the dice out, but makes our shape a bit more interesting. So let's make it something like that. Okay, if it was too big, I wanted to change it. Obviously, I could change the sketch later on, or I could do something else. Okay, so I've now got 3 circles drawn on 3. Just going to check that from the side view. I'm just not sure I've got it. Yeah, I have got it. 1, 2, you can see 1, 2, 3, making sure they're all in the right place. Okay, so I'm now going to use this loft tool, which is quite a powerful tool for making 3-dimensional shapes. Now, remember this dice that I've got transparent down here isn't really in the scene. We don't really care about it inside here. So I've selected the bottom one, but I'm having trouble selecting that circle that's kind of hidden by the top one. But remember, I can select over here as well because I've got them isolated over the side. So I've got one selected. I'm going to select, I've got to select them in the right order. So let's just click away and just do that again because I clicked in the wrong place. So select one first. And it says I've got faces of sketch 1 selected, then 2, then 3. So I've got 3 faces selected. Now there are options down here you can play around with. Okay. And I want a new part. It's trying to add it to the original part for me, which I don't want. Now, if I just go and have a look at it, you can see from the side what that's going to look like. It's quite cool, isn't it? All right, so I say, thank you very much. That's exactly what I want. And it's gone over the top of the dice. So the dice is now inside and it is not hollow. So I need to use a second tool, which is hollow, to make this so that I can see the dice inside. So I'm going to select the top face, the one that I want to be able to see through and into the dice. And then this option here, shell, is what I'm going to use. Now I can choose how wide this shell is. So it's 0.25 centimeters at the moment. So I can choose how wide it is at its widest point. So let's change that to 0.2. No, 0.15. Let's try that. Okay, and I press enter, see what that looks like. That's a little bit better. You can see how that opened up the center slightly. That's what I wanted. So I click thank you very much, and it's done it for me. So if I have a look now, I'm just going to close off this transparent because I've got my shape made. I can close this off, and you can see what the dice would look like inside my shaker. So it's just about big enough, and it's had some fun trying to make this ellipse go into a circle. You can see it's kind of slightly deformed in there. I quite like it. But if you had an effect that you didn't like, or you thought, actually, that's not what I wanted to have happen, then you can keep playing around with the sketches and it will change. So if I go back into my sketch 3 by double clicking, and I click on this shape and I change it, I move it around or change the size of it, I can then have a look and see if I'm happy with that. Let's have a look. What that actually looks a little bit weird now. Not sure about it. Might want to delete it entirely and draw a circle, but let's leave it there for now. So I've got my shaker made and I'm ready to move on to the next part. So you could have a go at making a lid for your shaker if you wanted to. This is an optional item that you could make. I'm not going to make you do it now. All right, but if you wanted to, you could go and make a lid. And I will just show you one tool that will help you to make that happen. So having made my top, I can use this plane again. and I'm going to make a new sketch, and I can click on this, right click, and I can click use. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull that edge so it's now a line on my new sketch. So I've now got a sketch with that line on, which is totally the same as the outside edge of the original. So I might want to do the same with this inside edge that I can see here. And again, right click and use. Oh, let's just see if I can select it. There we go, right click and use. And so now I've got both of those on that. And just to make it really clear, let's just make this one transparent. So make transparent, and hopefully you can see those two lines really clearly. I'm going to close that again. Okay, so I can now use those on the sketch if I want to start making a lid. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to leave you with that and leave you with that problem to work out. The last section is going to be to assemble these together and to get them coloured. So we're going to do that last video in a moment.